What's going on, everybody? It's Vance. I'm going to be doing 10 ingredients of a grid. Let's just get right into it. The 10 ingredients are format, margins, live area, action safe area, title safe area, trim line, bleed, columns, alley, and gutter. So first, format and trim line. Both of these are basically the same thing. Uh, both are the outer edges of the page or the screen. So as you see in this example, the this dark blue represents the trim. Um, so not the brown, that's the bleed area, that's past the trim. So yeah, just that part right there would just be the trim of the project. Next is margins. Margins is the negative space between the format edge and the content, and it surrounds and defines the live area. So here in this middle, you have your workspace, your live area, and then around it, you create these margins, um, and it's kind of just helps uh, kind of define it, I guess, keep it everything inside. Next, we have action, title, and safe areas, and they're all basically the same thing. It's the center area of the layout. So this is where all your content and your work is going to go. So in this example, it's this big yellow rectangle would represent your live area. Yep. Next, we have bleed. Bleed is the background pictures, colors, letters, or words that extend past the trim or format. So in this example, the small blue line would represent your trim, and then the bleed would be the big uh 21 in the black background, and it extends past the trim. Um, Yep, and like you can kind of catch the drift when it says bleed because it kind of like bleeds out of the page, like kind of out of the format area. So next we have columns. Columns are vertical alignments in type that create horizontal divisions between margins, and they don't just create horizontal; they can create vertical too. But so like in this example, it's creating a vertical margin, but it could also create a horizontal kind of like at the top, or if you wanted to have like a space in between text, kind of in the middle of the page, you would just create two columns, the space between. And so the space in between here gets us to our next point because those are called alleys. An alley is the space between two columns of text in a book, magazine, or anything uh, kind of close to that. So in this example, in this magazine or booklet or whatever it is, in between these two texts is an alley, and you can kind of also see it on this side on the left too. So you would have your two columns with your text, and then in between your alley. So there's that. Lastly, we have our gutter. Gutter is the extra space to allow for the binding of a book, booklet, or magazine. So this is a good example because the green would represent the gutter, um, and this is so then when you put your content in the middle of the page, and then when it's printed, it's not stretched into that binding. So you would basically just have two different margins or work areas, and then just space them out, kind of like this. That way they're not touching, and your content, when it prints, will have space, and it just looks better for the designer and for the audience. And that's about it. Thank you.